This is Perp back with another video, and I just got out of watching Oppenheimer. This is one of the most highly anticipated movies to come out this year. Highly anticipated movie from Christopher Nolan, because last movie he dropped was Tenet. That was the last movie he was with Warner Brothers with, and this is the first time in 20 years that he's not distributing a movie under Warner Brothers. So it's gonna be I'm curious to see where Christopher Nolan's gonna go with his career. You know what I'm saying? I still personally don't think he has dropped a true banger since Inception. Some people say Interstellar. I'd put Interstellar as one of his top movies. It's not my favorite personally, and with Oppenheimer, I think this is going to take some time for me to kind of really think about where I would rank this among his other films. But anyways, this is starring Cillian Murphy. He's playing J. Robert Oppenheimer, the guy that pretty much created the atomic bomb, or the hydrogen bomb, that ended up being detonated over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which is crazy. And that was my one thing going in, is just like, how are they going to handle something so sensitive that the whole world felt and still kind of feels all those years back. And I thought Cillian Murphy did a great job playing Oppenheimer, because I liked just seeing his life and his background as far as where he stood politically, him kind of switching over to our side and being a little bit more not democratic, but being more into democracy, I should say. And how smart he is. He's like always ahead of the class, to leading his own class. You see what he was able to do during, his school years, him being him just being a physicist, and now getting that task of creating a weapon that can literally wipe out the whole entire world. And I think that's what Nolan was really trying to get through to people with this movie, not so much to show the graphic nature of it, of just the psychological damage it has done to people, as far as the fear of shit could just go left at any moment. You know what I'm saying? We need to get ahead of this. And I like the process of it, and just the whole back and forth and the intrigue of making this bomb, and people kind of thinking about this and thinking like, is this the only way we're going to be able to have some type of peace? Do we have any other options? And it's like, no, because it's like, at any time, if this type of technology gets into the wrong hands, you know what I'm saying? At the time, it was the Nazis, and they had to kind of make a point, and that was the whole reasoning behind the bomb. So yeah, this was really, really interesting. Now, did it need to be 3 hours? Even though I feel like the runtime wasn't as bad, or the pacing was as bad, I think you could have shaved off like 30 minutes maybe, and just put out a 3-hour director's cut or something like that. But I like how immersed it was, how the whole movie was shot in IMAX, and just how clean it looked. Christopher Nolan is no slouch when it comes to just his cinematography and stuff, and just what he's able to capture on camera is really incredible. I just feel like, it's kind of hit or miss a lot with his movies, in my opinion. Some people might like everything that he drops, but I will give him credit for just, doing something different every time around. Whenever he gets around to dropping, it always has something to do with humanity, or reflects humanity. And that's what I kind of like about, Barbie and Oppenheimer. Even though they're two completely different movies, they kind of deal with some of the same themes as far as humanity and your morality, and life and death. It's really fascinating to me that these two movies have dropped on the same day. But yeah, definitely go out and check this out in IMAX. or if you can't, if you don't feel like really breaking the bank, you can see it in regular format too. But it's definitely intended to see on an IMAX screen, even though it's really rare to get an actual IMAX screen. But it is what it is. Just try to see this on the biggest screen possible. I think Robert Downey Jr. also did a phenomenal job. Just a lot of double crossing and not knowing who to trust. That was another thing, or another element of this movie that I found to be very interesting and engaging, and kept the pacing just kind of flowing, is that it would jump to one thing 1 hour and then the next hour, and just didn't really expect things to kind of go the way that they went. I don't think Christopher Nolan needed to actually show the devastation of these bombs and what they've done to Japan, because Japan's already kind of depicted that. Even though I wish they would have kind of gone a little bit more graphic, but it's more about the psychological aspect of what this bomb has done to people, and what it has done to like Oppenheimer and his kind of mental state, where he's just like, feels like he has all this guilt, he has all this blood on his hands. But this was a fantastic movie. I definitely would probably put it high on my list. I still got to think about where I would rank it amongst other Christopher Nolan movies. I think that's going to take some time, but this was a pretty interesting experience in the theater. So yeah, if you have seen this, let me know your thoughts of it in the comments below. Till next time, I'm out.